welcome everyone. I'm Pastor Mark and Pastor Anthony here from Water's Edge. We got Pastor Will from Tangible Grace. We got Pastor Andy and Eric from our church, and we are part of the Eternity Matters Most Network. Maybe you didn't even know that your church was part of that network, but it's such a great thing that we can experience an online faith journey together over the next few weeks, and we're all going to be collaborating together. So jump in and hang on. And Eric, you were saying what a joy it is, that and a privilege that we are in this together.
Yeah, this situation reminds me of a riptide. One of the ways that riptides form is that when a land wave goes out to sea and a sea wave comes into land where they meet, forms a riptide. And one thing about it is riptides, sometimes there's a loss of life, but also when riptides form, they gather people's attention. And so people look at the riptide, it causes all of us to look in the same direction. One thing culturally, what we've done historically is we put God in a little boat and sent him out to sea. And it was so that we on land could live according to our own will, that we would be in control. But what we recognize now in circumstances like this, God is coming back to land. And we're going to experience him as a church in a more powerful way. And we're going to learn something significant about ourselves.
And I think one of those things we're going to learn about ourselves, we see in Luke chapter 12, verse 13, Jesus tells a story, tells a parable, but it's in a setting. He actually tells the parable at someone who boasts about how much stuff he has and how he can control the world through how much he has, through his possessions, through his stuff, through buying into that lie of consumerism and buying into the illusion that he can control his life through how much stuff he has.
This week, I just was hit by this parable, and I'm a planner, and I was reading what happened. Yeah, you're like, yeah, he is. I'm making a Google Doc sheet and everything, all that. We're teaching Mark, and as I was reading it, the man he realizes he has all this wealth, and he starts building bigger storage for him. Like, yes, that makes sense. You have more, you need to prepare. And then he says, I will do this. I will tear down my barns and build larger ones. Yes, and there I will store all my grain and goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, you have ample goods laid up for many years. Relax, eat, drink, and be merry. And like I was saying, I'm a planner. I had everything planned for the next couple of months. Worship, sermons, songs, schedules, family life, travel, all of it. I'm like, I'm coasting. I'm eating, I'm drinking, I'm being merry. Life's pretty easy. And then this pandemic hits, and I am now turned upside down, like stuck in my house with my wife and my cat, and I get to see some guys here, which is great, but I have no control anymore, and I'm realizing any control I do have is a complete illusion.
Yeah, and this connects really well with John 15, verses 5 through 8, when Jesus is in the upper room with his disciples. So no longer just a guy that he's giving a parable to about his desire for wealth and control, but now to his various disciples that have been walking with him for 3.5 years. The night before Jesus is betrayed, they're anxious, they're uncertain about what's going to happen next. They're worried about what's going to take place if Jesus leaves them, as he says he's going to. The riptide has showed up in the upper room, right? Jesus has showed up, and he blows up their illusion of control as his disciples. And I think it's hard to remember, even at moments like this, God is at work blowing up our illusion of control. Jesus actually says, if you remain in me and in my word, everything's going to be all right. But apart from me, you can do what? Nothing. You can do nothing. Right. And that's the message for us when you said we're going to learn something about ourselves. Jesus blows up our illusion of control and says, apart from me, you can do nothing. But then, as he always does, he turns around and he says, he issues a call to action, and he invites and commands us. So remain in me and remain in my word. And then anything that you ask, it will be done for you. And specifically what Jesus is promising is if we remain in him and his word and we trust him and our heavenly Father, God will be with us every step of the way. And then at the very end of that beautiful reading of the vine and the branches, Jesus then sends his disciples out, not just with their illusion of control blown up, not just invited and commanded back into a relationship of trust with him and his Father, but now with a commission to do what? Now go out and love others, even in a time such as this. We want you guys to be wise. We want you to be vigilant, but we do want to continue to love one another boldly. Isn't that right, Mark?
Absolutely. And so we're going to put these videos out every week. I hope you enjoyed worship time today. There's going to be some discussion questions following. Please do the discussion questions, close in the prayer, and check out our websites for all the other myriad of resources as we go on this online faith journey over the next few weeks. God bless you all.
God bless.